Hello students and welcome in the online session of class 9th science chapter 3 atoms and molecules. This is the fourth video of this lesson. Let us see which topics will be covered today. We'll learn about valency, crisscross method to find the chemical formula of a substance, formula unit mass, gram atomic mass, gram molecular mass, gram formula unit mass, mole concept, and some of the formulas related to the lesson. So let's first start with the valencies part. So what is a valency is being covered in the last video. That valency is the number of electrons which an element can gain, lose or share with the other elements. So that is called valency, or in simple language you can define it as valency is the combining capacity of an atom. Now here in the table you can see the cations and anions, right? So positively charged atoms are called cations and negatively charged atoms are called anions. So here are some of the ions given along with their valencies. Okay, ions also have valencies like atoms have. Now here you can see hydrogen, it is written H plus. So H plus means plus 1. Okay, so 1 is not written. So if there is no number written, that automatically means 1. So now hydrogen plus 1, that means the valency of hydrogen ion is plus 1. Then for sodium it is Na plus, means the valency of sodium is plus 1. Okay, sodium is a metal and we all know that metals lose electrons, and after losing, the charge which comes on the atom is positive because one electron is donated, so protons increase in the nucleus, and that's why a positive charge comes on donation. So you have to remember this. Okay, plus does not mean addition of electrons. Plus means donated and protons get extra, so charge of the proton is plus, so plus comes on the atom, plus charge. So here in this table, like this table is also given in your textbooks also, from where you have to just learn the valencies. I'll tell you the method also how to find the valency, but for that you must know the atomic number of the element, right? Every element has a atomic number. So if you know that atomic number, you can easily find the valency of it. Fine. Now here on this side, you can see some negative ions given: chlorine minus 1, bromine minus 1, fluorine minus 1. Okay, OH minus 1. This is hydroxide ion, OH minus 1. Then NO3. Okay, these are polyatomic ions. Many atoms are there. Okay, here you can see chlorine is one atom only. But NO3, so four atoms are here present. So it is polyatomic ion. Fine. So you can see here NO3 negative means minus 1 charge on it. Then oxygen has a valency of minus 2. Sulfide has a valency of minus 2. So you have to learn these valencies. Okay. And no need to panic about it, because once you get used to, if you'll read it 2 3 times, you'll automatically learn these. Fine. So let's start with the crisscross method to write the chemical formula. Now this crisscross method is a method by which we can find the chemical formula of any substance. Okay. So now here we will see and solve some of the examples by which this concept will be clear to you all. Here also one table is shown in which you can see the formula or the symbol of the element along with their charges. Okay. Charge is equal to the valency only. So you can see hydrogen, the charge is 1, sodium charge is 1, ammonium is NH4 plus 1. Means ammonium, valency of ammonium, it is NH4. This is also 1. Chloride Cl1. Okay, OH group, it is also minus 1. Then carbon, chlorate group. Okay, it is also 1. So let us move through these examples and you will come to know about the different valencies. The more examples you will solve, the more clear you will be in this method. Now, the first example of it is formula for hydrogen chloride, right? Hydrogen chloride. You all know this substance very well, HCl, right? It's a acid, so hydrogen chloride. So let us first find out which elements are present in it. So in hydrogen chloride, as the name only suggests, so hydrogen is present and chlorine is present. Okay, chloride, hydrogen and chloride. So chloride when separated away from hydrogen, so it is called as chlorine then. Okay, after, when the compound is formed, so it becomes chloride. So hydrogen and chlorine are present here. Now atomic number of hydrogen is 1, right? Atomic number, remember number, and is 1. That means the number of electrons in hydrogen is 1. So when you write the electronic configuration, this one electron will come in first shell only, so we write simply 1. Now for chlorine, the atomic number of chlorine is 17. Okay, now these 17 electrons we have to fill in the shells, and you all must remember the capacities. Yesterday also I have told you it is 2, 8, 8 and 18. That means first shell can hold 2 electrons, second shell can hold 8 electrons, third shell can hold 8 electrons, and fourth shell will hold 18 electrons, not more than that. Okay, less than that will be equal, and if one shell is not complete, the electron will not go in the another shell. So filling is very important. So now 17 electrons are present in chlorine. So let us fill them. So first shell will have 2 electrons. So we'll put here 2. Then in the second shell 8 can be accommodated. So 2 plus 8 it comes to 10 electrons. And now remaining out of 17, 10 we have filled in 2 shells. So 7 are remaining for third shell. Right. But now you can see here that the capacity of the third shell is 8. So to fill this shell, still one electron is less. Okay, but chlorine does not has that electron. Chlorine has only 17 electrons. So you can say that the third shell is incomplete. Okay, so now what the chlorine has again two choices, either to give 7 electrons to become stable or to gain 1 electron to complete its shell. So leaving or donating 7 needs more energy and taking 1 will need less energy. So what is the tendency of chlorine? Chlorine takes 1 electron. So valency of chlorine is 1. Okay, so why I am writing these atomic numbers and electronic configuration to find the valencies. Okay, so now you know that hydrogen, now valency is 1 and chlorine valency is also 1. So let us write the symbols for them. Hydrogen is represented by capital H, chlorine Cl, C is capital, L is small. And then in the lower downside these symbols will write their valencies. So hydrogen 1 valency, chlorine 1 valency. Now the crisscross method starts. After writing these valencies below their symbols, you have to just put the cross here. Okay, that means this valency will go with chlorine and this one will go with hydrogen. This is crisscross method. Valencies will be crossed. Okay, hydrogen valency will go with chlorine and chlorine valency will go with hydrogen. So both are 1 1. So what will be the formula now? HCl. H is also 1, chlorine is also 1. So 1 need not to be written. It is understood that nothing is written, that means 1 only. Okay, so formula will be HCl. Okay, now let's move to another example, formula of water, right? We all know that H2O is the formula for water. So which elements are present? It is hydrogen and oxygen are present, right? So let us write the atomic number of hydrogen. It is 1. Atomic number of oxygen is 8. So how to fill these 8 electrons? Atomic number means the number of electrons present in the atom. So how to fill these electrons now? So we will fill 2 comma 6, means first shell will have 2 electrons and the remaining 6 will go in the another electrons. 2 plus 6, 8 electrons total, right? So now you can see that second shell has the capacity of 8 electrons. So 2 electrons are still less. So oxygen will not give 6 but it will gain 2 electrons to complete its shell. So valency will be now very clear that it will be 2. So we have written the symbols here H and O for oxygen and below we have written their valencies. Now hydrogen has valency 1, oxygen valency 2, minus 2. Why minus? Because oxygen gains electrons. But here you need not to write plus or minus, right? Signs will not be crisscrossed. Charges will not be crisscrossed. Only the numbers will be crisscrossed. So this 2 will go with hydrogen and this 1 will go with oxygen. Okay, it is crossed. So when you write, this 2 will be written with hydrogen. So see here formula H2. Okay, so these numbers will be written in subscripts on the lower side, not on the as power. They will be written on the lower side and that is called the subscript. So it is H2 and 1 will go with oxygen. So O is 1 only. So no need to write 1. So the formula comes to H2O. Okay. I hope the method is clear to you all. So let's solve some more examples. Now formula of hydrogen sulfide. Okay. So hydrogen is present and sulfur is present. Okay. Hydrogen sulfide. So now hydrogen atomic number is 1. Sulfur atomic number is 16. You have to learn the atomic number, children, right? So sulfur is 16. How to fill 16 electrons now in the shells? So first shell will have 2 electrons, second will have 8. So 2 plus 8, 10. Now how many remaining out of 16? 6. So those 6 will go in the third shell. Now you can see that the third shell is still incomplete because the capacity of the third shell is 8 electrons. So still 2 are left. So sulfur will give 6 electrons or take 2 electrons? Yes, it will take 2 electrons, not give 6 electrons. So valency of sulfur is 2. Okay, so now let us write the symbols. Hydrogen H, sulfur S. Now valency of hydrogen is 1, valency of sulfur is 2. Now crisscross the valencies. So this 2 will be written with hydrogen, so H2, and 1 will be written with sulfur, so single S. So H2S is the formula for hydrogen sulfide. Okay. Now next is formula of methane. Right, methane gas you all know, CH4 it is there. So elements present are carbon and hydrogen. Okay, so carbon atomic number is 6. How to fill these 6 electrons now? 2 and 4. 2 plus 4, 6, right? So now you can see that second shell is incomplete. 4 more electrons are needed to fill the orbit or the shell. Okay, so valency of carbon is 4. So what the carbon does, see, carbon has both the choices, either to give 4 or to take 4. So both require equal energies, but what the carbon does, carbon shares the electrons. Remember children, carbon never donates, not gain. Carbon is such an element which shares the electrons. Sharing, it does share. Okay, and hydrogen atomic number is 1. So symbols we have written, C for carbon, H for hydrogen, and valencies are written. So carbon valency is 4, hydrogen valency is 1. So now the valencies will be crossed and C will be written as 1 and hydrogen will be written as 4. So CH4 is the formula for methane. Okay. Now let's move on to the next example, that is formula of carbon dioxide. So we know that in carbon dioxide elements present are carbon and oxygen. So atomic number of carbon is 6. Electronic configuration will be 2 and 4. So we know that the valency of carbon is 4. Then oxygen atomic number is 8. 8 electrons are present. So let us fill them. So 2 and 6. So now you can see second shell is incomplete. 2 more are needed. So 2 is the valency of oxygen. So now see symbols we have written. C for carbon, O for oxygen here, and valency of carbon is 4, valency of oxygen is 2. But see, 4 and 2 both come in a single table, right? So we can cut these numbers as we do in mathematics. So 2 ones are 2, it will be cut 2 ones are 2 and 2 twos are 4. See, both the numbers should come in the same table, then only you can reduce into lower values. So this is cut, so you will get 2 and 1, right? So this 1 will go with carbon and 2 will go with oxygen. Okay, so C1 and O2. So CO2 is the formula for carbon dioxide. Now, formula of aluminium oxide. Okay, so elements present are aluminium and oxygen. So, atomic number of aluminium is 13. So, how to fill 13 electrons now? So, first shell will have 2 electrons, second shell will have 8 electrons. So, 2 plus 8, 10. Still 3 are left. So, those 3 will go in the third shell. So, now see, third shell is incomplete and now aluminium has two choices because the capacity of the third shell is 8. So to make it 8, it has two choices, either to donate these 3, so these 3 will be removed and up to here 2 and 8 will be the complete shells, right? So either to donate 3 or to gain 5 electrons, right? So 3 plus 5 will become 8. So taking 5 will need more energy and donating 3 will require less energy, so aluminum go for donating 3 electrons. So valency of aluminum is 3. Oxygen atomic number is 8 and it is filled in the format 2 and 6. So valency of oxygen is 2. Now crisscross the valencies. So 2 will be aluminium. So it is written Al2. 2 will be written in subscript Al2 and O3. Okay, Al2 and O3 is the formula for aluminium oxide. Okay. Now, next example is formula of sodium sulfate. You can see here a table in which more polyatomic ions are given, right? Like you can see ammonium, it is NH4. It is a group of atoms, right? Polyatomic ion. So NH4, it has valency +1. Then hydroxide OH. Then nitrate group is NO3. It has valency of -1. Then carbonate group, that is CO3. This is hydrogen carbonate group HCO3. It also has valency -1. Then carbonate group CO3. It has valency -2. Sulfite SO3 -2. Sulfate SO4 -2. They have -2 valency. So children, you have to learn these valencies from your textbook. This is your task first to be done. Then only you can go for crisscross method and you can find the formulas. So let's see sodium sulfate. So elements present are sodium and one sulfate group is present. Sulfate group you can find here SO4 and valency is -2. Okay. So atomic number of sodium is 11. How to fill 11 electrons now? 2, 8 and 1. So sodium donates 1 electron. Okay. So valency will be 1. And sulfate group is SO4 group. It has valency -2. Now crisscross the valencies. Okay, remember charge is not crisscrossed, only the number will be crisscrossed. So Na2, right? So Na2 will be written and SO4 is 1. So SO4 1 only. Okay, so Na2 SO4 1. 1 is not written. So Na2 SO4 is the formula for sodium sulfate. The next is formula of potassium nitrate. So potassium, the symbol of potassium is K and nitrate group is NO3 group. Okay. So symbols we have written K and NO3. Now 19. How to fill these electrons? 2, 8, 8 and 1. 2 plus 8, 10. 10 plus 8, 18. 18 plus 1, 19. So you can see in the last shell there is 1 electron. So this is a metal. So it will donate this 1 electron. Okay. And will become stable up to here. Up to this stage it is stable. So 1 it will donate. So valency of potassium is +1 and valency of nitrate group is -1. Okay, so 1 1. So both will be written once. So the formula directly comes KNO3. NO3 is the nitrate group together. KNO3 is the formula for potassium nitrate. Then next example is formula for calcium nitrate. Okay, so nitrate group is again NO3 group. Calcium atomic number is 20. So how to fill 20? 2, 8, 8 and 2. So valency will be 2. Fine. See, if in the last shell there is 1 electron, then valency will be 1. If in the last shell there are 2 electrons, then valency will be 2. If in the last shell there are 3 electrons, then valency will be 3. If in the last shell there are 4 electrons, valency will be 4. But after this, if in the last shell there are 5 electrons, then the element will not donate 5 electrons. It will gain 3 electrons to get 8 electrons. So now the valency will be 3. Remember this. If in the last shell the electrons are 6, then valency will be 2 because 2 more are needed to become 8. If in the last shell there are 7 electrons, then the valency will be 1 because 7 plus 1 becomes 8. Then it will gain. See, up to here the element loses electron. Okay, the element will lose electron, so the valency will be the same from 1 to 4 in the outermost shell. But once it becomes 5, 6 and 7, okay, then 5 electrons will not be lost, then 3 will be gained. This is for gaining. Okay, so 3 will be gained. If there are 6 electrons in the last shell, so the atom will gain 2 electrons. So valency will be 2. If in the last shell there are 7 electrons, then 1 will be taken more and it will be completed. So 1 will be valency. And if there are total 8, 8 electrons in the outermost shell, then valency will be 0. Okay, so remember these things. I think this part is very important. So calcium plus 2 valency, nitrate -1. So this 1 will be written with calcium, 2 will be written with nitrate. Now remember here that Ca is 1, but this nitrate is a complete group. So it will always be written in bracket like this. And this 2 will go on the whole bracket as it is written in this side. Okay, so this 2 will be on the whole bracket, on the whole nitrate group, not on a single atom. So you have to enclose this NO3 group in a bracket and then put 2 on the bracket. Fine. So this is CaNO3 whole twice. It is read as whole twice. So whole group is having a number twice on it. Now next is ammonium carbonate. So what is the formula for ammonium? It is NH4. NH4 is the ammonium group and it has a valency of +1. Then carbonate group is CO3 group and it has a valency of -2. So now see, this 2 will go with ammonium group. So ammonium already is a polyatomic ion. So this has to be enclosed in bracket first and then this 2 will be put on the whole bracket. So NH4 twice and then CO3 1. So no need of enclosing it in brackets. It is 1 only. So CO3 will be written directly like this. So this is the formula for ammonium carbonate. Okay, ammonium carbonate. Remember, when we'll take the lesson on Google Meet, everyone has to learn these, symbols and atomic numbers and valencies. Try to learn these so that you can give the answers properly. Okay, now let us move on to the next concept, that is formula unit mass. See, formula unit mass is nothing but the molecular mass only. As we have find already molecular mass, what we do in molecular mass, we are adding the atomic masses of each atom and then we get the mass of the molecule. So that is only the formula unit mass, but it is for the ionic compounds. Okay, ionic compounds like sodium carbonate is a ionic compound. Sodium has plus charge, carbonate has minus charge, so it's an ionic compound having cations and anions together. So formula unit mass is the molecular mass of the ionic compounds only. So formula unit mass, it is the sum of the atomic masses of all the atoms which are present in one formula unit of the compound. So what we have to do, this is the one formula unit, means this is the formula of the compound. So in this, how many atoms are there, you have to add all the atomic masses of those atoms and you will get the formula unit mass. So it is same, molecular mass and formula unit mass is same, only we use the formula unit mass term for ionic compound. The method is exactly the same. See, now we have to find the formula unit mass of this molecule. Sodium carbonate. Okay, hydrated, sodium carbonate. Water is also present in it. So sodium carbonate. So how to find? See, Na2. So atomic mass of sodium has to be taken and multiplied by 2 because there are two sodium atoms, Na2. So 2 into atomic mass of sodium, right? Then plus sign. Then next is carbon. So atomic mass of carbon has to be added. Again plus sign. Then atomic mass of oxygen will be taken, but 3 atoms of oxygen are there. So 3 multiply by atomic mass of oxygen. Then again plus. Now you see 10. 10 is for the whole water. Whole water is a compound. So it is for whole water. So 10 is written and then in bracket we have taken 2 hydrogen. So 2 multiplied by atomic mass of hydrogen plus atomic mass of oxygen. Now put the values. Atomic mass of sodium is 23. So 2 into 23. Then atomic mass of carbon is 12. Then 3 into atomic mass of oxygen, it is 3 into 16. Then atomic mass of hydrogen is 1 and atomic mass of oxygen is 16. Now remember, when you are solving this equation, multiplication has to be done first and addition as last according to the BODMAS rule. So I have underlined these multiplication parts, you can see here. So 2 into 23, 46, 3 into 16, 48 here, and 2 into 1, 2 plus 16, it comes to 18 in the bracket. Bracket we have solved first. And finally you will add and you will get the answer 286 unified mass is the formula unit mass. See, this is an ionic compound. So in case of ionic compounds, we use the term formula unit mass. Otherwise, molecular mass and formula unit mass are the same things. Now next is gram atomic mass. Okay, atomic mass you all know. Mass of one atom is called atomic mass. And if that mass is given in grams, then it is called gram atomic mass. Nothing is there. It's very simple. Okay. So mass of an atom is called the atomic mass. And if the atomic mass is given in grams, then it is called as gram atomic mass. So atomic mass expressed in grams is called gram atomic mass of that element. Okay, see, example, if suppose atomic mass of hydrogen, we know that it is one unified mass. One unified mass, 1 U. So in grams, gram atomic mass will be 1 grams. Simply, only you have to, if you are using the term gram atomic mass in place of atomic mass, then this U will be replaced by G. That's it, nothing else. See, if atomic mass of oxygen is 16, we know that atomic mass of oxygen is 16 U, right? So gram atomic mass will be 16 grams. Simple. You have to replace this U by G. If you are writing atomic mass, then you will use U as a unit. If you are writing gram atomic mass, you have to use gram as a unit. And it becomes the gram atomic mass. Okay. Now next is gram molecular mass. Okay, same like molecular mass we were finding. So mass of the molecule is called molecular mass, and if the mass is given in grams, then it becomes gram molecular mass. So molecular mass expressed in grams is called gram molecular mass of the substance. Till now we were finding the molecular mass in U unit using unified mass unit or atomic mass unit, but if it is given in grams, then it becomes gram molecular mass. Okay, suppose the molecular mass of O2. Now O2 is a molecule, it's not an atom. O2, two atoms are combined together, so it's a molecule of element. So for one oxygen atomic mass is 16, for another oxygen atomic mass is 16. So 16 plus 16, 32 is the molecular mass of O2, right? So when you write it in gram format, so it will become gram molecular mass, and instead of U, you will write G only. Okay, so nothing you have to do, you have to just find the molecular mass and use gram as a unit in place of U, then it becomes the gram molecular mass. Fine. Now next is gram formula unit mass. Now only you have read about formula unit mass. Adding the atomic masses of all the atoms of the molecule gives you the molecular mass or the formula unit mass. And if it is expressed in grams, then it becomes gram formula unit mass. Okay. So formula unit mass which is expressed in grams is called gram formula unit mass. So suppose this is an ionic compound. Formula unit mass whenever comes, remember it's for ionic compounds. Sodium plus charge, chlorine minus charge, so NaCl. So sodium 23 is the atomic mass, chlorine 35.5, and total it becomes 58.5 U. So this is formula unit mass, right? If you are expressing it in grams, so gram formula unit mass will be, in place of U, you will write simply G. Okay, in place of U, you have to simply write G and it becomes gram formula unit mass. That's it. Now, the next important concept is mole concept. Okay, this is a very important concept. See, mole is nothing. Mole is a Latin word, and the meaning of mole is, heap, like heap of garbage. Okay, a collection somewhere. So that is called a mole. So, see, we use different concepts, like we use a dozen. Okay, a dozen means what? One dozen means how many number? 12. Like we say a dozen of eggs, that means 12 eggs in it, right? So, like dozen is a concept, same way mole is also a concept. So, mole is nothing but a number. Okay, it's a number. Like dozen is nothing, it's a number of 12. 12 means a dozen. Likewise, mole is also a number. Okay, nothing else. Remember this thing. So, mole of any species, you can say mole of an atom, mole of a molecule, yeah, mole of an ions, yeah, mole of an particles, anything could be there. So, mole of anything is that quantity in number having a mass equal to its atomic or molecular mass in grams. Okay, so mole is that number whose mass is equal to atomic mass or molecular mass expressed in grams. Okay, so what I said, that one mole is that number. One mole is a number and that number is fixed. That number is fixed. So the number which is fixed is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. Like dozen has 12 things in a number. Likewise, mole value, one mole is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 number in number. Okay, if I say one mole of oxygen, that means in that how many atoms will be there, how many number of atoms will be there, it will be 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. Okay, so mole is a number and it has a fixed value, and its value is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. Okay, so I think this part is clear, that 1 mole is equal to 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 in number. Okay, now this number can be of atoms, molecules, or ions. This can be 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 atoms, or they can be molecules, or they can be ions. But the mass, now they are atoms, they are molecules, or they are ions, they have a particular mass. And the mass of these many numbers of atoms, okay, if expressed in grams, then it is equal to 1 mole only, right? Means 1 mole has this much number, and these many atoms have their mass in grams. Okay, their mass in grams means gram atomic mass. Okay, so see, 1 mole of atoms is equal to gram atomic mass of that element, and the number of atoms which are present is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. Okay, this 23 is in power. Okay, remember it is not 1023, it is 10 raised to 23. So I left it to put it in the superscript. So it is 10 raised to 23. So 1 mole of atom is equal to this many number of atoms, and this is equal to the gram atomic mass. Okay. So you can define gram atomic mass also from here, that gram atomic mass is the mass of 1 mole of atoms. Okay, I hope you are getting it, that gram atomic mass is the mass of 1 mole of the atoms. And 1 mole have how many number of atoms? 1 mole has these many number of atoms, 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. Okay. Remember children, it is not 1023, it is 10 raised to 23. 10 raised to 23, right? So this is the thing, this is about mole. Fine. So if it is atom, then it will be, the mass will be gram atomic mass of these many atoms. If it is a molecule, then it will be gram molecular mass. If it is an ionic compound, then it will be gram formula unit mass. But 1 mole has the same number of atoms, 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 formula units. Okay. And mass of 1 mole is also called as molar mass. See, there are many terms for the same thing, so you people have not to get confused. Okay, mass of 1 mole, if it is in grams, then it comes to gram atomic mass. If they are molecules, it is gram molecular mass. If it is an ionic compound, it is gram formula unit mass. But mass of one molecule of any substance can also be called as molar mass. Molar mass means mass of a mole. Mass of a mole is called as molar mass also. Okay, so they are same thing over here. Fine. So I think this concept is clear, that mole is a number of atoms, number of molecules, or number of ions, and that number is fixed value, that is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 is the value of 1 mole, and 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 number of atoms have the mass equal to the gram atomic mass of the element. Okay, like suppose it is 1 mole of carbon, suppose, right? 1 mole of carbon. So 1 mole of carbon has how many number of atoms now? It will have 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. This much will be the uh, number of atoms in this, 10 raised to 23. This is 6.022. So 1 mole of carbon will have 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 atoms. And the mass of these atoms will be 12 unified mass, because 12 unified mass is the atomic mass of carbon. Okay, so 1 mole of carbon will have the mass equal to 12U, and the number of atoms present in 1 mole of carbon will be 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. So this is the concept of mole. Fine. Now there are some formulas which you have to remember in the chapter, like suppose in the numerical you have to find the number of moles. Number of moles is represented by small letter n. So number of moles will be found by the formula given mass in grams upon molar mass in grams. Given mass in grams means the mass which is given to you in the question, and you have to divide it by molar mass. Okay, molar mass means actually the atomic mass of that element. Suppose for carbon it is given in the question that it is 10 grams is given, suppose, but actual molar mass of carbon is 12, you all know. So 10 will be divided by 12 and you will get the number of moles. Okay, given mass is represented by small m and molar mass is represented by capital M. So number of moles can be found by dividing given mass in the question by molar mass. So this is the formula for finding moles. Then this, from this only method, like n is equal to small m upon capital M. Now if you have to find mass in grams you have to find out, then you can alter the formula from here. You have to find this thing, so what you will do, you will multiply this capital M with small n, that is you will multiply the number of moles with the molar mass. Okay, same formula is altered, so you will guess mass in grams. Now suppose, so this is in gram case. If the mass is given in grams, if there are number of atoms given, suppose, so if you have to find the number of atoms, then what you have to do, you have to multiply the number of moles given in the question by Avogadro number. Okay, what is Avogadro number? We left it here, that this value 6.022 into 10 raised to 23, this number is called as the Avogadro number. Okay, and it is represented by the letter N0. 0 is written in the subscript. So this value 1 mole is equal to these many number of atoms, and this value is called as the Avogadro number, and it is represented by N0, right? So it was left here. So now how to find the number of atoms? In the question you have to multiply number of moles by Avogadro number. Okay, so formula will be number of moles are represented by small letter n, and Avogadro number is represented by n0. So n multiplied by n0 will give you the number of atoms, total number of atoms. Then fourth formula, if you have to find the number of moles when the mass is not given in grams but the number of atoms are given. Okay, so number of moles can be find if the mass is given in grams or if the number of atoms are given. So two formulas are there for number of moles. So number of atoms or molecules divided by Avogadro number. See, if the mass is given in grams, then you have to divide it by molar mass, means the actual mass. And if the number of atoms are given, then you have to divide it by Avogadro number. Numbers have to be divided by Avogadro number. Then you will find the number of moles. Okay, so you have to learn these formulas. Now problems related to these formulas we will solve in the Google Meet. I think then only the concept will be clear, more clear to you, that how these things have to be used. Okay, so that's it for today's video. So we have learned about valencies crisscross method, formula unit mass, gram atomic mass, gram molecular mass, gram formula unit mass, mole concept, and then some of the formulas related to it. So here we complete with the lesson. So all of you just read the lesson through your textbooks and try to learn the definitions, concepts, formulas, so that the lesson will be more clear to you. Okay, so we'll meet in the Google Meet afterwards. Till then, all of you stay home and stay safe.